What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with another WWE Week in Review, where I recap and review everything that happened this week on WWE television from Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. You can check me out on the Apple Podcast, Podomatic. I think that's it for now. Also did my AEW Week in Review. A link will be at the end of this video. So as always, another big week in WWE. Got a lot to talk about, so we'll jump right in. We're gonna start off with Raw. So we get the Raw men's tag team. The Raw men's team from Survivor Series, because this is the fallout from Survivor Series. They're in the ring, and it's kind of funny. Like Pierce kind of like appears behind them because he was hiding behind Braun. So he's saying that there should be a reward for it, which is what everyone's been saying for the longest time. Like, what are the stakes of Survivor Series? Now, whether or not they would have known the stakes before this, maybe SmackDown would have tried harder. Who knows? But regardless, Pierce says that each will give him state their case as to why they should get a chance at the WWE title held by Drew McIntyre. So Sheamus says AJ still isn't the captain and sings Drew's praises. AJ's not thrilled about that. Lee pinned their captain. Apparently Jey Uso was their captain. I'm going to clean my glasses a little bit. Riddle pinned Corbin, so does that make him King Bro? And then Braun assaults Pierce for absolutely no reason, made no sense. And we go to commercial break. It was just bizarre. Because he said last but not least, and apparently Braun took exception to that. I don't know. So earlier today, we come back from break. Earlier today, the Hurt Business are arriving. They're seeing the New Day. New Day are being told that they embarrassed the brand. Hurt Business want another shot at the title. Cedric demands a shot. Xavier Woods says, you know what, no problem. We'll give you a shot, even though Kofi's like, yo, that was supposed to be our day off. We just went through a match. As I'm cleaning my glasses while we speak. So right then, I was like, interesting. What is going on here? This sounds very odd. That, it's like, oh, it's our day off. We shouldn't be wrestling right now. Almost. So I thought that was a little odd. Kind of maybe a possible foreshadowing. So we get a Raw Tag Team title match. New Day versus the Hurt Business. Shelton dominating Woods early. We get a hot tag to Kofi. Cedric rips Kofi off the top turnbuckle and hurts his back. Shelton and Kofi can't get back into the ring, and it's a count-out win for the Hurt Business, which was like pretty quick. Like, okay. And then MVP pleads for New Day to restart that match, and then Kofi talks Woods into it because Woods was like, "Oh, we won." But it made no sense because Woods was the one that demanded the match earlier in the backstage segment, and Kofi was the one who didn't want it. Now Kofi wants the match, and Woods is reluctant to restart the match. It was very weird. So Kofi is shot way over the top rope. That looked ridiculous. To the floor, selling the knee injury. Cedric with the Indian Deathlock on Kofi. Cedric prevents the hot tag to Woods. We get an SOS desperation on Shelton for a 2 count. Finally does get the hot tag to Woods. We get a tilt-a-whirl DDT by Cedric, an Olympic slam by Shelton. Kofi breaks the pin up. We get the sunset flip by Woods on Shelton for the win. And then Cedric is kind of staring down Shelton as if he's the one who blew it. So this is interesting kind of dynamic between the two. Is there going to be some beef now? We'll see. Pierce coming out of the trainer's room. Got a nice bump on his head. If it was his call, Braun would be fired, but he's been escorted out of the building. So we get Bobby comes up to him and says he was the only champ from Raw to win. Pierce says he needs to talk to Bobby. So we come back from break. Pierce is there, and then Randy confronts him, but doesn't say a word. Hold on. I still gotta get this lighting thing worked out because this is crazy. So Lana's backstage with Sarah. Says it was the greatest moment of her career, and somebody pinch her. Don't wake her up if she's dreaming. This whole nonsense. I'm sorry. Just stop it. She didn't do anything. It's not like she pinned somebody. If she pinned somebody, okay. She literally stood on the stairs. It was just way too corny. Maybe like, oh, would you want a shot at the title since everyone from the other thing is getting a title shot? So dumb. Back to Pierce again. So we're told that there are going to be 3 singles matches. The winners will be in a triple threat next week to become the number 1 contender. So we get our first match is Riddle versus Sheamus. Obviously, a rematch from a couple weeks ago that was highly touted and praised. So we get so we get it again. Obviously, Vince liked it too. So it's a straight fight. Some submission attempts back and forth. We get an exploder suplex on the floor by Riddle. Broton for a 2 count. Sheamus hits his 10B to the Bowery. Irish Curse backbreaker, only for a 2 count. Sheamus posts himself. We get some yes kicks by Riddle. Sheamus with an Alabama slam. Riddle hits the floating bro on the outside. We get Sheamus with the cloverleaf. Riddle gets to the ropes though. Sheamus goes for another 10 beats, but Riddle with the Kimura lock in the ropes. It's like crazy. I don't understand this. There we go. Maybe that works. Okay. So Riddle gets the Kimura lock in the ropes. We get Sheamus locks in a heel hook. Riddle breaks out of it, hits a V trigger only for a 2 count. White noise from the second rope for a 2 count only. Sheamus looks shook at this point. Riddle collapses before Sheamus does another bro kick. And then Sheamus with another cloverleaf, but Riddle is able to roll it into a pin for the win. This was a fantastic match. Obviously, these two have great chemistry together. Hard hitting, but also, there's technical parts to it. They're doing submission moves. So Riddle advances to the triple threat match next week for a shot at the title. We get Lana walking backstage. Asuka says she heard that wants a challenge. She says, no, but Asuka accepts the challenge because she likes challenges. Rambling, a rabbit is crossing out Nikki Cross in a picture of her and Alex setting up a Firefly Funhouse. So the episode is about something vile, friendship. We get a flashback of Randy burning down the Sister Abigail house. Friendship Frog shows up. Who in the F is that? Says Abby the Witch, which was kind of funny. Bray tells Alexa to show the frog what she's going to do to Nikki. She puts in the contacts and the red light comes on and she kills the frog. We then get a moment of silence and then a montage of Frog. So that was actually pretty funny. We find out he was 40 years old. We see that he went to school and graduated college and all that stuff. It was pretty funny. Now we get a Raw Women's title match, Asuka versus Lana. Shayna and Nia come down to ringside for commentary. Nia is not in the mood to deal with Vic Joseph's... Vic Joseph. I'm getting everybody wrong. What, is it Vic Joseph? No, it's not Vic Joseph. It's Tom Phillips. She's not in the mood to deal with that crap. Asuka douses water on them. They attack her for a DQ. Lana saves Asuka from going through a table. Nia and Shayna challenge them. So dumb. We get Truth doing a merch commercial. Gulak hits him with the Money in the Bank case. Akira pretends to be the Fiend. Everyone runs away. We come back and what do you know? Tag team match. Lana and Asuka versus Nia and Shayna, but it's not for the titles. Nia ragdolling Lana. Lana's taking heat for a while. Gets the hot tag to Asuka. We get a code breaker on Shayna by Asuka. A spinning back fist, a German release, and then Shining Wizard all on Shayna for a 2 count. Nia attacks Lana on the outside. Nia gets sent into commentary because she goes after Lana and Lana ducks. Shayna with the clutch on Lana, but Asuka rolls her up for the win. So now your tag team champions, your women's tag team champions, lose to Lana and Asuka. So guess what? Are they going to get a tag team title shot now? We get Riddle backstage, finds MVP. This is one of the funniest moments of the week. So he wanted to wish Bobby some good luck. He has all these ideas, and says, you guys are a business. He's like, what about pizza flavored yogurt? And then, obviously MVP's not thrilled about this and says, you know what, I'm not your bro. And as he says it, Riddle goes, aw. And you could tell MVP had to hold himself back from laughing because he just was not expecting that. Says, you know what, you come back with your ideas. And he's like Shark Tank. He's like, yes, because we'll either do business or do business. So we get Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee. The winner gets the second spot in the triple threat. Bobby trying to wear down Lee. Flatliner by Bobby for a 1 count. Bobby can't get the hurt lock on Lee because he's too big. MVP distracts on the outside to give Bobby the advantage. Bobby barely keeps Lee up enough to throw him into the post. It was cool, but you could tell his knees were buckling there. We get a huge suplex on Lee by Bobby, and then Bobby's posted, and you can see he gets busted open. He's pounced by Lee, and then Lee hits a fun splash on the outside. MVP sent Lee into the post while the ref wasn't looking. Lee powers out of the hurt lock, and for some reason, MVP decides to jump in the ring and start attacking Keith Lee for the DQ loss, so Lee would win back DQ, advancing to the triple threat. This really made no sense. I mean, obviously, maybe you want to protect Bobby Lashley, but it just seems out of character for them to cheat that overtly. So, I don't know. I mean, between Cedric having problems with Shelton for taking the pin in the tag team match, and now MVP costing Bobby Lashley an opportunity at the title, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of her business. I mean, I really, really hope they don't break up, because it would be way too soon. So we get Alexa versus Nikki. We get a nice video package of them. Nikki's backstage says she didn't give up. Alexa did, and she's done trying. Nikki's new music sucks. Alexa's playing the slap game. Nikki trying to get in Nikki's head. Nikki gets in some offense, and Alexa is just laughing it off. Nikki with the fun splash in the corner, and then Alexa seems to, like, she's getting beat up, and then all of a sudden she acts like she snapped out of it, like she just doesn't realize that she's what she's wearing, what she's doing. She's crying. She's asking for Nikki's help. Nikki believes her, hugs her, and then quickly Alexa turns that into a Sister Abigail for the win. I think what Alexa's doing right now is absolutely fantastic. Her character work is completely different from what she's ever done before. I like it. I think it's great. And I think, aside from Nikki's shitty music, I think this can be a really cool feud to keep going. We're obviously replaying the Taker Farewell video package. We then get our main event, Randy versus AJ, the final in the 3 matches for the winner going to triple threat. So winner gets the last spot. It's pretty even to start between them. Randy goes to whip AJ, but Jordan catches him, and then on the outside, and then Randy with a back body drop. He's back body dropped on commentary by AJ. AJ with the chop block and attacking Randy's left knee. We get a calf crusher. It's countered by Randy, though. Randy fighting off the calf crusher by AJ, but AJ finally gets it in. Randy gets to the ropes. The Fiend shows up for a second behind the barricade, scares Randy. Randy hits a draping DDT. The lights go out. The Fiend shows up behind Randy again, and then while he's being shook by the Fiend, AJ hits the phenomenal forearm for the win. So clearly we're setting up Fiend versus Randy Orton. So basically he's just going to lose yet another feud. And so it's going to be Riddle, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles, the real AJ Styles, not the We Nominal one from Impact. If you don't know, check it out. It was hysterical. They will be in a triple threat next week. Winner gets a shot at Drew. No Drew on the show, no Retribution on the show. Very interesting. I hope that's the case. Unfortunately, because I love Mustafa Ali, but damn, they've just completely ruined that whole situation. Alright, so now we go to NXT. So, as we noted last week, Kevin Owens is on commentary. He's making fun of Vic's excessive makeup, which I thought was funny. Okay, so then we get Candice versus Ember Moon to start. Stiff drop kick by Ember. Candice slides into a Casadora, dropped on commentary. A shot to Indy Hartwell, who's at ringside. Bunch of pinning combinations, a big pump kick by Ember for a 2 count. Dakota Raquel show up and go to ringside. Candice gets the advantage during picture-in-picture, hits the Gargano escape, and then it was funny because Vic Joseph's like, oh, almost like a Gargano escape, and KO's like, no, not almost, it's the Gargano escape. Ember powers out of it, but Candice gets a sleeper hold on her, and then Ember drops back to break it up. Indy, while Ember is about to hit the Eclipse, Indy Hartwell goes in to take the Eclipse for Candice. Candice hits the Wicked Stepsister for the win, so it's another loss for Ember. So they start beating down Ember. Tony comes out to make the save. And then Ember's like, you know what, let's go beat them up. So it's, even though it's 4-on-2, all of a sudden, the shock of the night, Tony Storm turns on Ember, just beats the shit out of her. And then I was curious about like who's going to be on Team Candice now, because you have Indy Hartwell, Raquel, Dakota, Candice, and now Tony, who's going to be the odd person out. If I had to guess, I guessed right, obviously, who would be it, and we'll talk about that later. Undisputed Era arriving to the Capitol Wrestling Center. We get a Legado del Fantasma vignette. They're in some kind of lounge again, like drinking scotch, cigars, talking about how the Cruiserweight title finally has meeting now. Who's next, who's left. Kirk Stallion, I guess. He's from 205. Okay. Personally, I think that LDF should be in the tag team title hunt. They kind of botched that up a little bit, but Undisputed Era out to the ring. Pat's on it. They show a video of Pat McAfee on his pod saying he won't be there tonight. Cole, he got a taste of his own medicine, earlier with the way that McAfee and his group took care of him. Says they are undefeated in the advantage match, so there'll be a ladder match tonight. Whoever wins that will get the advantage in the War Games match, but obviously it's pretty much always the heels winning. And clearly Undisputed Era aren't heels in this case. Kyle says he needs this. He needs to fight Peter Dune tonight. And Adam Cole loves an angry Kyle, so he has no problem with that. Backstage, they're catching up with Candice, with Dakota and Raquel, and they form the team. Tony is now a member of Team Candice for War Games. We get Thatcher's students watching backstage. Johnny Candice merch commercial. Then we get Thatcher versus Kushida. Ciampa out right away, brings a chair to ringside to sit and watch. We had a heel hook by Thatch countered into a Muda lock by Kushida. Handspring countered into a heel hook on the ropes. We get a Kimura countered into a vice grip. Kushida with the Danielson stomps. Thatch is blocking the hoverboard. And then that goes for his own Kimura. And then goes for his own Kimura lock. That's broken up. Ankle lock by both of them. They're just putting ankle locks on each other. Not at the same time, but just back and forth. Thatch gets distracted by Ciampa's presence. Kushida takes advantage and attacks the left arm. Eventually locks in the hoverboard lock for the win. And now Thatch is just surprised, angry, upset. And Ciampa looks at the camera and says, maybe he has a problem with me now. So clearly he wants to fight him. But at the same time, I feel like this is beneath Ciampa now, because now Thatch keeps losing. So what does that matter? So we get an EO and a Rhea recap. Ringside Doc said they were both in bad shape, and Rhea doesn't know what's next. We get a Peter Dune backstage interview. He's impressed by what Kyle did to Finn, but he said if he was there, he would have kept Finn out for longer. They'll change the Undisputed Era's win streak tonight. We get a special version of NXT The KO Show. He said he'll always come when he's invited. And then Leon Ruff is his guest. He wants people to know Leon's story. And they show a clip of the title falling down. Obviously, KO is like, that happened to me because I was so svelte. But he tells Leon that, you need to have more conviction in your voice, in your delivery, because you're the champ now. Everyone's going to be coming after you. And they don't want you can't show any sign of weakness. So he gets all pumped up, and he's like, yeah, you're right. I did win. I beat Johnny Gargano. He's like, oh, man. And Leon's like, what? Because he thought he kicked over the chair. He said, no, just, whenever you mention someone's name, clearly they come out. It took a couple seconds after. He was like, 3, 2, 1. There was a couple beats, and then all of a sudden, Johnny Gargano. John. Which is from when Aleister Black called him John instead of Johnny. It was just fantastic. So he knew once he called him out, he'd come out there. So KO makes fun of Johnny's punked reference, even though Johnny had a good comeback by saying basically, yeah, that's because he's so young he doesn't know the reference. So that was funny. So Johnny throws out the chair. KO gets another, and he says, I got a hunch. So Damian gets name dropped. Same thing. He counts off, and then Damian Priest comes out. Priest says Leon is just better than Johnny. Priest says he didn't get his rematch. And if only we had a Teddy Long type person. And they all look back, and then there's nobody comes out, and they're like, okay. And then, boom, Regal comes out. He makes the match for War Games. It's going to be a triple threat match. And then as he's leaving, he looks back and then he goes, "Playa," and that was really funny. We get a Finn vignette. Said he laid the groundwork for the War Games match, and he said, "Look, I made that reference. When the cat is away, the mouse will play. Stop playing in my kitty litter," or something like that. It was pretty weird. Shotzi vignette. Oh yeah. Also, I totally forgot about something with Raw. Drew McInfart. Pierce called him Drew McInfart. I can't believe I forgot about that, but that was hysterical. I don't know if that was a lapse in judgment or what, but yeah, Drew McInfart. Anyway, so we get Shotzi vignette. She's building a new tank. Still don't know what her team is. I assume it's going to be her, Ember, Rhea, Io. That's what it sounds like. Cameron Grimes versus Jake Atlas. Atlas with the jobber entrance now, so I don't know if they're, kind of not pushing him anymore. Heavy hitting, but fairly even. Cameron Grimes hits the collision course, and then the cave-in for the win. I love that he goes, "To the moon," before he hits it. That was pretty funny. Loomis appears in the corner. Loomis points to the Tron, and we get like a recap of the haunted house with some kind of the illustrations being done as it goes. Loomis tosses a strap to him. Grimes refuses and leaves. Back from break, Grimes is confronted by Regal backstage. Regal makes the strap match at War Games, and Grimes is like, "Why do you hate me so much?" And Regal's just like, "Yeah, it's your personality." So you get Rhea coming out to the ring. Io is one of the toughest that she's ever faced. There's a lot of speculation going on since that match. The hug was a show of respect, not a goodbye. Candice and Tony come out. They tell the crowd, "You'll try harder next time." Tell the crowd you'll try harder next time. So like Io beat her with help twice, as opposed to Rhea losing straight up. She says that anyone could talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. So Dakota and Raquel come out with Io knocked out over Raquel's shoulder. Rhea trying to fight them off, but can't beat the numbers, and then Rhea gets posted twice. So then we get this video package of Boa and Zaya driven, looking all beat up and scared. The old man is there. They call him Master. He opens up some kind of garage, and they're begging, to this woman who's got like a robe on. They're calling her she. Boa and Zaya get marked on their hands again, and that's it. I don't know what this is. We then get a match from Everrise versus, we don't know yet because no one had come out, even though that made no sense. So all of a sudden they get attacked by the grizzled young veterans back from NXT. I'm very happy. Is it James Drake and oh my God, James Drake and Liverpool's #1 Zach Gibson. Gibson puts on a great promo. So clearly they're back and they will be going after the tag team titles, which is great. Parking lot with Parking lot with Candice and Indy. Indy's in a neck brace. Raquel will face Shotzi next week for the advantage. And Johnny drives off, picks them up and drives off, and there's another ghost face in the back. We then get our main event. So the War Games men's advantage match, ladder match, Kyle O'Reilly versus Peter Dune. Both teams on platforms watching, from the distance. We get Kyle hits a running knee from the apron. Dune, his name is Peter Dunne, but everyone calls him Peter Dune. Well, no, Kyle calls him Peter Dune, and it's very funny. Dune with the slingshot into the plexiglass. Shoves Kyle on the ladder, falls, and the ladder falls on him. That looked rough. Dunn is attacking the left arm. We have Kyle with the dragon screw inside the ladder. Kyle powerbombed on the ladder in the corner. He bounces off. We get some Danielson stomps by Dune on a ladder. Kyle just suplexed on a draped ladder, and it breaks in half. That was rough. Dunn is attacking the left hand during the break. And then we get Kyle with the cravat, and then a brainbuster on the ladder in the ring. That was nasty. Diving knee misses on the ladder. We get a fight on the top of the ladder. Joint manipulation by Dunn on the ladder. Dunn with the chair shots. Hits the bitter end onto the guardrail. And then Kyle knocks Dunn onto another ladder in the corner. All of a sudden a masked figure comes out, knocks Kyle off the ladder, allowing Peter Dune to win the match by the moveset, by the body type. It was Pat McAfee. Obviously the fact they said he wasn't going to be there makes perfect sense. So Pat McAfee's team will have the advantage going into the War Games match, which we all knew was going to happen, obviously. And finally, Smackdown. So we get Jey Uso coming out to the ring. Everyone should be talking about Reigns, not the Undertaker's farewell. Jey is giving an intro to Roman, but his music cuts Jey off before he finishes it. Roman says, you know what, let's just run it. And we get a recap of Survivor Series of them losing, of Roman telling him to get lost, go home. We get, he's just running down Jey again, saying, did I ask you for your help? Did I need your help? If they don't, why'd your team lose? If they don't fear you, they don't respect you. If they don't respect you, they don't respect me. They don't fear me. They don't fear us. What are we? Then what are we? It says, what am I? Some wannabe bitch in the locker room begging for Thanksgiving leftovers? Do you see me that? I don't like the way you see me. So just completely running him down and then leaves. So we get Otis versus Corbin. So Otis comes out as Jey Uso is still coming up the ramp. They give each other a look. Otis is coming down. Then all of a sudden, Jey comes out with a chair and just absolutely obliterates the shit out of Otis. Non-stop chair shots. We come back from break. We see during the break that Gable was helping Otis to back up the ramp. Dolph and Rude come out. Rude, it looks like he's officially done with the big entrance and the robes and stuff. He's just wearing a leather jacket now, which I like. They're focused on the Smackdown tag team titles because they deserve a shot. Why? Oh, that's right, because there's nobody else. So we get Street Profits come out saying Dolph is like an HBK lookalike and Rude couldn't grow facial hair except for his stash, but we all know that that's not true because he has a full beard, so we're talking about maybe back in the day when he had the stash. It just did not sound right. So they get a match, non-title. Ford misses the big frog splash. They were going after his abdomen the whole time, his ribs. So Dolph hits a famouser on Ford. Dawkins break up the pin. We get a hot tag to Dawkins. He's cleaning house. Double underhook neck breaker by Dawkins on Dolph. And then we get the cash out on Rude. Dolph breaks the count because it takes Ford too long to get on the pin, selling his injuries. And then eventually Rude gets the roll up with a handful of tights on Ford for the win. So now you have your tag team champions who just had one of the best matches of the night in Survivor Series against one of the best tag teams ever, winning that only to lose on a roll-up to Dolph and Rude. Okay. Okie dokie. I mean, WWE logic. Anyway. Alright, so we get a recap of Bryan and Sammy's feud. Bryan's backstage interview says, Jey has a devil on his shoulder. Sammy is more delusional than ever. He's dealing with all these things. He just wants the title. He doesn't care about Sammy or his conspiracies. We get backstage interview with the Mysterio family and Murphy. So relieved Seth chapter is finally over. Corbin crashes, says, I'm sorry that you didn't pass your phenomenal ring talent onto your son, but you did pass your bad judgment of character, talking about Aaliyah's character of Murphy. Another recap of the Undertaker farewell video. Hopefully we don't see that anymore after this week. So we get Sammy versus Bryan, non-title. Doesn't respect... So Sammy has a promo, says he doesn't respect Thanksgiving, but he shouldn't fight the day after it either. Mocks Bryan, says you had your chances, you lost, but WWE is getting behind you as always. Sammy uses the ropes to mess with Bryan's momentum, keeps running to the ropes whenever Bryan starts to mount some offense. Sammy gets crotched on the top rope. He fights it off. Bryan drop kicks him to the outside, and then Bryan goes for a dive off the top, misses into the barricade. The way the camera angle framed it, it looked really, really good. It looked like it really hurt. Bryan makes a comeback. Frankensteiner by Bryan for a 2 count. Bryan sent into the post, and then he hits a brainbuster on the apron. That looked really dangerous. Blue Thunder Bomb by Sammy for a 2 count. We get the yes lock, but Sammy gets to the ropes. We get a dive sends Sammy into commentary, and then he goes to the other side of the ring, and then another dive sends him up the ramp. So they start fighting and running up to Gorilla, and then all of a sudden, the ref is still counting. Then Sammy comes out of nowhere, runs down the ramp into the ring for the count-out win. We then get a shot of Gorilla position where Jey is attacking Bryan. Kevin Owens comes to his aid. He says, Jey says he has a problem with KO, and he goes, you know where I'll be. So then KO says, let's get this man some help, because I know I got to go where he is. So then We then get another segment of Jay telling Roman he's handling things. KO confronts both of them, says, "You know what? I'm tired of your family business affecting everyone on SmackDown. If this is how you treat family, you treat them like shit." He leaves, and then Roman tells Jay that KO doesn't look at him with fear, so change that, make him understand. We get Natalya versus Bianca Belair. Bayley comes to commentary wearing a captain armband, even though she's self-proclaimed captain and Survivor Series is over still, so it doesn't make any sense. Bianca gets posted. Bayley doesn't want to talk about getting eliminated first, blames Bianca because she was the one who lost it for the team, even though I still think it was ridiculous that Bianca lost first of everybody, being pinned by Peyton Royce. Also, she keeps challenging Cole to a fight, so that would be hysterical. Surfboard stretch on Bianca. We get a chicken wing, sends Natalya over the top rope to the outside. Natalya ducks when by commentary, and Bianca ends up hitting Bayley. Bayley tries to then go into the ring while Natalya is trying to get a sharpshooter on. The sharpshooter gets pushed. She gets pushed from the sharpshooter position into Bayley, and then Bianca rolls her up for the win. So clearly we're going to get a Bianca Bayley feud, which is going to be awesome. So I can't wait for that. Backstage, Heyman's talking to Pierce. We get Murphy versus Corbin. So when Murphy's music hits, Corey goes, "Did someone order a knife in the back?" I just thought that was funny. So the whole Mysterio family is out with Murphy. Corbin's in control, but Dominic Ray, they keep jumping on the ring apron to mess with Corbin. Very heelish tendencies, but I'll give my thoughts after. So Corbin goes for the swing around the post when he goes in and out of the ring, and Aaliyah gets in his way then, and he's just like, "What is going on here?" Corbin's sent into the steps. Deep six, Ray gets into the ring to piss off Corbin so that he doesn't get the pin. Dom with the trip. Then Murphy hits a V-trigger. Dom pushes the leg off the ropes so that Murphy can get the win. Corbin's flipping out, says it was 4-on-1, wants a rematch next week, and he'll be prepared. So Corbin with people at his side. Shocking. So who knows who it's going to be. I know Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter said, it could be Forgotten Sons, the two members that people actually want to see. That would be interesting. But I'm sure it'd be like Dolph and Rude or something like that. But, I know people were like... The one thing was, it made Murphy look a little hapless there, but I do like it in the sense that they were fucking with Corbin because Corbin is always the one fucking with other people. And I thought that was great. I don't think this is like a heel turn for the Mysterio family, even though that would be interesting if they did. I think it was just more like Corbin's a piece of shit. We're going to fuck with him. He's by himself. So there you go. KO and Jay scheduled for later tonight. We get Apollo and Big E playing fake hoops with a garbage can backstage. Sammy's like, "Excuse me, I have an interview. You're in my way." He beat Apollo with a cat out just like he did Brian. He tries to get in Apollo's head. Big E tries to calm him down. Says that his house has no foundation. One flick, one gust of wind, blows Sammy's hair. Says that it'll all crumble down. And then Big E's reign, his Intercontinental title reign, was forgettable. So clearly Big E took exception to that. Said, "You know what? I should congratulate you." And shakes his hand and then starts counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And when he gets to 5, he goes, "Remember the 5 count?" And then to 1. And then obviously Sammy is selling the hand injury. Says he doesn't want to do the interview. So we go to commentary, and all of a sudden Billy Kay slides in on a chair, gives them resumes, and says, "I have an extensive background in talking, so I can talk about this." I thought it was funny. We get a Carmelo promo, and now that Sasha is done with Bayley, not doing anything. This was just pretty generic. Now I can go and do what I need to do. She's not doing anything for the people anymore because that's what got her in the first place. She snaps, waiting for champagne, snaps again. All of a sudden a hand comes into frame with a champagne glass. It turns, it has the boss ring. Sasha beats the shit out of her, puts her in the bank statement. People come and break it up. We then get our main event, Kevin Owens versus Jay. We get KO in control, Roman watching backstage, Jay attacking the left arm. We get a dive, misses, KO with the slingshot into the post, super kick 2 times, sends Jay over the barricade. We get a cannonball senton on the outside by KO. We had a code breaker on the left arm back in the ring by Jay. KO can't do the pop-up powerbomb because of his arm. Uso hits a splash, but KO gets the knees up. We get a fisherman Ushigoroshi by KO for a 2 count. That looked pretty cool. KO is posted into the bad arm. Jay goes for a chair and attacks KO for the DQ loss. KO eventually hits the stunner and then starts giving chair shots. He's calling out Roman, saying, "I don't fear you." KO fears no one and just absolutely destroys Jay, and then hits another stunner on Jay, and that's where we leave off. So there you have it. That's WWE for the week. As always, I give my match of the week, and that was tough because it was either, there were great matches on every show, at least one great match on every show. Obviously, the Riddle Sheamus match was really, really good, but I just had to go with the War Games Advantage ladder match, Kyle O'Reilly versus Peter Dune. I mean, while, yes, two phenomenal guys who put on an absolute banger of a match, it was a ladder match, it was brutal, it was rough, people went through ladders, and the significance of the match being the advantage to War Games, it was huge. Obviously, there was, a fuck finish in that sense, but that doesn't take away from the match itself. It was really good, really hard-hitting. So I'm really excited about War Games. So there you have it. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media's down there. Check out my AEW Weekend Review as well. If you don't see it, a link at the end of this, just go to my channel. Also, Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving break. You're safe, had fun, ate a lot of food. Made sure that everyone in your family was safe, your friends, all that good stuff. So as always, be safe, love each other, and bye now.